Southwestern Europe is sweltering under an early and extraordinary heat wave with record-breaking temperatures, overwhelmed emergency services and growing fears about the impact of climate change. Just a day after France and the UK recorded their hottest May temperatures ever, large parts of Europe are bracing for another day of extreme heat. Temperatures more commonly seen in the height of summer than in spring. Meteorologists say that a powerful heat dome is driving this unusual weather. A mass of hot air from northern Africa has become trapped under a high-pressure system over Western Europe, preventing cooler air from moving in and causing temperatures to soar across the region. A mass of hot air from northern Africa has become trapped under a high-pressure system over Western Europe, preventing cooler air from moving in and causing temperatures to soar across the region. The impact is already being felt across multiple countries. Temperatures have crossed 30 degrees Celsius in many areas, unusual for this time of the year. In the UK, the heat wave has pushed emergency services to the brink. London's ambulance service said paramedics were flooded with 999 calls, reaching levels last seen during the peak of the COVID pandemic. Now, officials described it as the sixth busiest day ever for the service, with record numbers of emergency calls between 2 p.m. and midnight. Many people reported heat-related conditions, including breathing difficulties, dizziness, dehydration, and even fainting. Paramedics have now urged people to call emergency services only in life-threatening situations as the health system comes under pressure. Across Europe, authorities are also taking extraordinary measures. Parts of Italy have imposed restrictions on outdoor work to protect laborers from dangerous conditions. In southwest France, beaches filled far earlier than usual as residents tried to escape the heat. Farmers across the region say crops are ripening too quickly, forcing harvest to begin earlier than expected. The homeless in Paris are also demanding shelter and protection amid record heat.
Of course, people die on the streets all year round, but periods like this, with particularly unbearable temperatures, add an extra urgency factor. That's why we're here today. We've been in the midst of a heat wave for 2 days now, in 35 degrees.
In Spain, meanwhile, weather agency forecasts very high temperatures for summer and sounded alarm over extreme risk of wildfires as well.
In Western Europe, indeed, there has been a spell of very high temperatures, not only in Spain, but also in Portugal, our neighboring country, which has also reached between 38 and 39 degrees Celsius. In France, where temperatures have also exceeded 33 degrees Celsius. In the UK, a milestone has been reached. For the first time since records began, temperatures have hit 35 degrees Celsius somewhere in the British Isles. It happened on Tuesday, and of course, this is a temperature that would be extraordinary even in the height of summer.
In Rome, tourists flocked to Rome's fountains to cool off as Italy was facing its first heat wave of the year. The northern and central regions among the hardest hit by temperatures exceeding 34 to 35 degrees Celsius in several cities. Now, scientists say this is not just an isolated weather event, but part of a larger climate trend. Europe is currently warming faster than the global average, and climate experts warn that human-driven climate change is making heat waves more frequent, more intense, and longer lasting. The concern is not just about this week. A new global climate outlook has warned that average world temperatures are expected to remain near record levels over the next 5 years. The report predicts that global temperatures could rise between 1.3 and 1.9 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels recorded between 1850 and 1900.
Temporarily crossing the 1.5 degrees threshold does not mean that we've failed the Paris Agreement, as this is referring to a long-term average over 20 years, rather than a single-year exceedance, which is what we're looking at in this report. However, as we get closer to that threshold, we expect to see more and more exceedances of 1.5 degrees, which has already occurred in 2024, when the global temperature was 1.5 degrees.
Meanwhile, the Arctic is expected to warm further as well, adding to fears of accelerating climate instability worldwide. For many in Europe, this heat wave is becoming a glimpse of a future that scientists have warned about for years.